Well, guys.
It's
we lost a couple.
yeah.
And, well, honestly, a lot of people lost something yesterday, Devin. Ain't that the damn truth?
Yeah.
But you guys did not lose an episode of Speaking Sporadically, the podcast, because we are freaking staying consistent. And we might get a little finance bro later at some point in the...
That's why I flipped the hats. We're going to get a little
so.
finance bro.
But yeah, we've been staying consistent. We're doing every other week on Thursdays at 4 p.m. We set it to release at that time. So we should just we're filming this on Sunday, and 4 days, or last Thursday we had one released. So it's a good feeling staying consistent, and you can really see. I hope this episode shows the dedication of that, because obviously only two of us can make it, and that just happens sometimes. And we debated internally of having the episode or not, and we decided to have it, just keep the consistency, because right now we do not have any backup episodes.
Yep.
So
yeah, and it's really cold out, and I don't know if you want to say this, but one of our guests actually got into a little fender bender, and he's like, the roads are pretty not the best out there, so we kind of thought like maybe it's not worth doing it. But then I was texting Jacob, and I'm like, I'm kind of indifferent. If you want to do it, then let's do it. And he's like, we're rolling, so we're moving on. But
then Trey went to college, and so hopefully he can swing on sometimes, but might not be able to see him for a little bit.
But this is Speaking Sporadically, the world's best podcast, but the least amount of effort podcast there is.
For real. That's kind of factual.
We're just guys talking. So yeah, tonight we're just going to do a duo episode, which this is our first rodeo. I think we've done the most duos.
For sure, but I still would only be at this would be our fifth, I think, tops.
Yeah.
Tops. I don't know, has there been another duo? Any combination of the guys that have done just two of them? So me and Devin are... I'm definitely not saying more valuable than the other guys, but I have the camera, so I always bring the camera, and then Devin has the laptop, which helps our audio situation. So it's kind of hard to do it without us unless someone swings by the other person's house to pick one up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we've had another combination of duos.
I know there was one time you did one with the Forlemy Robotics team.
Yeah, and Isaiah was in there too.
So I guess if you count that, there was only two hosts there. And we've had a couple other weird one-offs where I think we've done duos before, but with guests.
Yeah. Could be possible. Yeah. Yeah, but from that standpoint, duos never bad. I think we should get back into the different location series.
I know that was something that we were all super hyped about. And that fell off so fast. So we were gonna do what's called pod and random locations, and we were just because our setup's pretty dang mobile. As long as we have a couple batteries charged, we can do it anywhere, as long as we're fast. So our idea was we were just gonna go to the most random, weird, scenic, cool places and just film there. And we did it one time out at the lake. We were just under a shelter house at the lake, and it was really cool, and it was fun, and it was a good convo, and we even ran into one of our friends, and I think he hopped in there with us.
Yeah, and he said a few words for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that literally was such a scenic day, too, because it started raining, and it was really beautiful in the background.
While the sun was out, too, so it was shiny.
Actually, one of the photos we got that day, which I believe is our thumbnail, is the back banner of my Facebook.
Yeah, I think it's your Insta photo, too.
I think so too. Yeah. It's zoomed in.
Yeah,
it's such a good photo.
It is. It's just cool because they're just sitting in lawn chairs in the rain while the sun's out. So you can really see the droplets because they're all lit up, and he's just sitting out there, leg crossed in the rain. It was cool.
Yeah. Oh man, I just love aesthetic things. I think Isaiah mentioned this a while back, but he said doesn't that photo just tickle the right part of your brain? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a good way of looking at it, because there is just some photos that entice some sorts of feelings. The ones I get all the time are nostalgic photos. Mm-hmm. That is the strongest emotion.
Yeah.
Maybe sorrow, if someone passes away, can be so strong, but nostalgia is one that always just moves me incredibly. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that for no reason it's super emotional.
Yeah. For some reason you remember that time or that day like nothing other.
Yeah.
More than what you did yesterday. You're I just remember that. I can still feel that almost.
Yeah.
It is weird.
Which that's funny because right before the episode started, we had about we spent 5 minutes trying to remember what we did last weekend.
Because we were trying to come up with maybe there's something we did last weekend we could talk about on the episode that'd be good, and we were what do we do? And it took us forever. And like I had to go on my phone and like look up the calendar, like, all right, this is going on. And we slowly step by step worked through it, but it took us forever.
Yeah. I had I didn't do it, but my girlfriend was driving. We were coming back from the Buckeyes game, and out where we are, the weather was so bad, and I was on 705. She hit a freaking nasty drift. She had 2 tires in each lane, just freaking sliding down. I was like, oh. And she handled it like a pro. She was like, oh. She was hilarious. She sounded like her mom, so she's like, oh, holy cow. Oh, man. And then she, like, corrected.
Oh, no. Oh, we're rolling right now. This is not good.
But I was sitting there. I was just, like, completely frozen, didn't say anything. I was like, all right, just lock in. Because if you're a passenger, there's not much you can really do to help in that situation. And
you can only make it worse.
99% of the time, you're going to make it worse.
Yep.
There's, like, nothing you can do. So I just, like, sat there, kind of, like, braced a little bit because it was a little sketch.
Yeah.
But nah, she clutched, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Especially for a woman. But that's neither here nor there.
That's kind of crazy. You know.
But the one thing that also happened that we do remember very clearly, and I think this is like a day that'll honestly go down in like history. Like a fairly decent big history is the TikTok closing, bro.
Yes. I had just alluded to it right at the beginning, but last night we were hanging out together, and so I'll give you some background from my standpoint. Is I deleted TikTok like 6 months ago, so I'm not super invested in it. So Devin might have to touch on this a little bit more, like literally before the episode as well. He was explaining what TikTok Shop was to me because I just was not in the know. But yeah, I mean,
just give your side first, and then I'll.
So
like, what your perspective? What do you know about? And then I'll kind of fill in the gaps and show mine.
Yeah. So my perspective is pretty much TikTok's just getting banned because of whether it's security reasons or a whole bunch of other aspects. And I saw some, like, I'm on Instagram Reels for the most part, so I saw some things that were like, hello, welcome all TikTokers to Instagram Reels, which was kind of funny to me. But from like I'm not super caught up with TikTok lore very well, so not really any emotional connection for me. But last night I could definitely see the emotional connection that you had, and you were scrolling through them, and there was like a whole bunch of like goodbye, like we had a good run, like deep hard hitting music, and I think you even said something like, it's crazy that I only have like 1 day left on this app, and then I kid you not 30 seconds later he got the doom icon of explaining TikTok's ban.
Yeah.
And I just saw your face drop, and I was like, holy crap.
It was
I was like, this is real.
Because it wasn't supposed to be banned till the next day, and I even thought I had the whole next day. So this was Saturday night, and it was I heard we had till the 20th or something. So I thought, okay, tomorrow's the 20th. I'll go on it tomorrow and whatever, I'll do whatever. But yeah, like the whole couple weeks leading up to it, because like there's certain politicians and people that tried to get it pushed back or changed or whatever, and they were unsuccessful. So everyone's like, no, it's actually going away the 20th. And so everyone started posting like super nostalgic, because I was thinking about this last night too. Like TikTok has been around for like a huge part of my life, like probably like 18 to 22, 17 years old to 22, which is like really definitive of who you are. Like my high school days and college days, that is a lot of who a person is and a lot of their experiences and memories and stuff like that. So I'm like, it's been with me for that whole point.
Maybe even longer, because I feel like
I wasn't on it too early though. Okay. I was a little slightly late.
Gotcha. Because I feel like TikTok was pretty relevant in like COVID, right?
Yeah.
Which would have been when I was like 16.
Yeah.
16 or 15. Nah, 16 for sure.
Yeah, I might have been on it by then. But anyway.
That's crazy.
That's around, and it is crazy to think about. And like when you're on it a lot, and I'm on it a decent bit, because I don't do YouTube except like when I'm trying to go to bed. Then I'll turn to YouTube and I can kind of doze off. And then when I get tired, I shut it off.
And I mentioned it yesterday. It kind of becomes like an ecosystem that you're familiar with. Like your For You page is something you're connected to. And then it's also like, in some sense, like a safe haven or like a routine habit.
A news source even. Like I get a lot of my current stuff that I'm into, like updates and stuff on there. And
yeah, just a way to kind of churn off your brain a little bit. Wow. I kind of have a viewpoint on Reels that overall they're not positive. I think, personally, not that I am supportive of the band or anything, but yeah, it's definitely, I can see it being like a super routine thing, and just some people, like I literally saw a story of someone last night. It's not someone that I knew, but they were crying.
I would believe it. Like some people have made their livelihood on there.
Oh yeah,
like
not even to talk about how much money is made through that.
Yeah,
app.
like so many TikTokers, like that's what they do full time, and that's where they came from. Literally like nothing. Like they were literally just working some random job and then started, and now like they're living in LA and rich and famous, and they're doing all this, and it was from TikTok. Like one hit me hard was like Livy Dunn, who has like become like one of the top. I would say like top 10 America's most famous people for a while there.
Yeah.
Like she was just huge. Like she met Elon and everyone, and she posted too, and she's like, oh, I guess that's it. And I'm like, wow, that probably is big for her.
Yeah.
Not too big because she can do whatever now.
Yeah, she kind of built her Instagram following, but it would be interesting to see, because there's got to be some people that like from a revenue standpoint and from a follower standpoint, 95% of their traffic's on TikTok.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and there's like Joe Roth was considered the king of TikTok for like, I'll just say like content and skits, because that's what he did, and he was hilarious. And he was like, and again, everyone was posting like super emotional videos, like compilations and like slideshows of like our favorite TikTokers, like all of them I knew, like saying goodbye to Josh Block and King Darius, if you know him, and a bunch of other like videos that went viral that everyone saw, and like creators they followed. It was like, hey, goodbye. Because there's a lot of people too that aren't on anything else. Like they're just TikTok and they don't post on Instagram.
Yeah. And would you say TikTok has a pretty different platform from like the videos you're actually able to create and post?
Yeah, absolutely. Instagram is so different. Instagram is all just like memes, and that's kind of it. Like short video memes. Like you could go on TikTok
some horribly
and watch
graphic stuff that I would not like
very
to see.
graphic stuff.
I do not know how there's so much of it runs rampant.
Yeah.
In just horrible comment sections.
Yeah.
Comment sections are vile.
But like TikTok is like, you could watch like legit TV shows on there. People post like full, like professional, like Fox News post news videos on there. All types of different updates and like actual like skits and longer skits, and so it's definitely a different type of video stream that you get. Yeah, like and everyone was playing like the saddest and like more like nostalgic or remembrance type songs that weren't always super sad, but they just gave you that kind of feel. And then everyone's also like building memes off that, so like it would be like I don't know if you know the clip, but like Ben Roethlisberger's last game at Heinz Field, when he was like super emotional and like doing the interview, and he walked around like the whole stadium giving all the fans, it was like how it felt leaving TikTok, or how it felt sending off the final thing, and so like everyone was building off the meme that it was leaving and everything. So it was like super emotional. It was awesome. And then obviously, we got surprised when it went away, because it was like 11:30 on the 19th. I go on, and it just shows a thing, and it's like, unfortunately, because of U.S. lawmakers or whatever, TikTok's been banned, but we're working with President Trump to try to get it back and whatnot. And there was 2 buttons you could click: either close app, and it would close the app, or learn more, and it would take you to TikTok's like website, where it would just like talked a little bit more about it, and that was all you could do. And it was off the app store too, because I had a few friends who deleted the app, and they can't re-download it because it's still not on the app store. I'm sure it'll come back soon, but it wasn't on the app store for a while.
That's
so
crazy.
I was like, wow, it's gone.
I didn't even think about trying to do that, like re-downloading it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they just thought it was like, well, it's banned, probably not going to come back, at least for a while. They'll delete it. And then, not even 24 hours later, probably 16 hours or whatever, everyone's like, it's back. And I'm like, no way. I go back on, and there it goes. And I got a message. I can read the message too.
Scrolling just as normal, baby.
It goes, it showed the same type of like format of like a notification as when it went away, but it goes, welcome back. Thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's effort, who's not even the president yet, technically, TikTok is back in the U.S.
Because once a president, always the president. Like they never lose
That's
that
true.
title.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, you're right. So they still would be president.
If they would have said
Trump.
like standing President Trump, it would be wrong.
He's like, you can continue to create, share, and discover all the things you love on TikTok. And it works just like it did. So I don't know how he did it in 16 hours or whatever to make it go back. But
without being in office like currently. It's kind of crazy.
Crazy. So that was an insane feeling. And now everyone's posting memes about it being back. Like we just saw the one, like, the SpongeBob scene where SpongeBob and Patrick are going to get thrown in jail, and like, you do the crime, you do the time. All right, time's up. Because I don't know, they did something petty that was a real dumb crime, and it's like how it felt on the TikTok ban or the U.S. government on TikTok. All right, time's up. And now everyone's like, we're back, and the boys are back in town, and so TikTok's been going crazy. But yeah, you were saying it too earlier. It's probably gonna be cool because I bet there's gonna be a spike of like TikTok creators and TikTok type content on all different types of short platforms. So like Instagram Reels. Snapchat.
I think we should actually, before, like sometime within this episode, we don't do it right now, but we should do a tier list of all the scrolling media platforms.
I mean, I
would say you got YouTube, Instagram,
Shorts, TikTok,
Facebook.
Facebook has one?
Yeah. My dad's addicted to that shit. That's definitely like top tier.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. But what's the Snapchat's one called?
I don't know. I refer to them all as reels. I don't know if they're
stories. They have a different because they all have different names.
Oh, stories, highlights,
highlights. I think it's highlights. I think it's Snapchat highlights. Spotlight maybe. I don't know.
Snapchat's so bad.
You send me the weirdest ones on Spotlight. I'm like, who's on this? Who scrolls on Snapchat Reels? And he sends me, and they're all over the place. Honestly, you get TikTok type videos, Instagram Reel type, like it's all over. It's weird,
dude. But no, those are like all the ones that are normal. But if you normally just go on it, it's all Family Guy clips.
Really?
Yes. So much Family Guy on there, bro. It's ridiculous.
It is crazy because like so many shows, like cartoons, have gotten so much more popular because of TikTok.
Really?
Absolutely. Like Family Guy would not be near as big as it is now and not know as much if it weren't for TikTok. Like I've watched probably like 5 Family Guy episodes. Like I've actually watched them on a TV, but I bet I've seen 90% of the Family Guy clips because I just have seen so much content on TikTok.
That's crazy.
And I just get all types of different episodes.
One thing for me, I guess the influence it had when I was really big on TikTok was Breaking Bad was really freaking huge. Which that was a show that hadn't even had a season released recently. It was just like a really well-known good show, so people were posting a lot of content about it. And I watched the entire series, and I freaking loved it. And I never even knew it existed prior to TikTok.
I was the exact same way with Suits, which is that New York lawmakers. And again, I bet if there was a chart that showed its popularity, I bet when it came out it spiked, but then it went down. Then with TikTok, I bet it rose again.
Yeah, I could see just like general shows, just like older shows rising.
Because the reason I watched Suits was because I saw clips on TikTok. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. Where is it? I'm like, oh, it's on Amazon Prime. I have that.
Like, it's weird how things like that work. I saw a clip of, like this was like 9 months ago or something. I saw a clip of Cheers on Instagram Reels, and I've seen the first 4 seasons of the show Cheers. I knew of Cheers, I guess, but had no ever intention of watching it. And it's actually pretty good.
Right.
It's such a good like brain dead show, like those classic sitcoms. It gets you a little bit of a chuckle because it's. I don't know if you're very familiar with it. It's literally only placed in a bar. Like you get like 2 camera angles. That's it. There's this back pool room which has a camera like right here, and then there's the bar which has the camera like right here, and it kind of just goes like that. And there's no other scenes. It's only in the bar.
What's it about then? How could they have 4 seasons of that?
Pretty much every day something just. Oh, there's like 18 seasons. I've only seen like the first 4.
Oh wow.
It's pretty much the start of it is they hire this new waitress that comes off. Oh, there's I guess a third scene. There's the manager's office, the owner's office, where is also where he lives. But the start of it, this waitress came in. She was going to get married, and then she got dumped by her fiance, who got back with his wife. So then they offered her a job. So there's like 4 main characters. There's the owner, which is like this charming guy that's like the same age as the new waitress. New waitress is this like uber intelligent, highly educated, but also very attractive female. That's like very progressive. So she's against a lot of like. The owner always tries to swoop her off her feet, and she's super against that. Then there's kind of like another waitress who's like crazy, and then there's like an older bartender who's like out of his mind, and just every day, just different things kind of happen. Like a lot of it's a figure comes into the bar that stirs something up. Something just kind of happens from that, but a lot of it's the same. I mean, almost every episode starts with this guy comes into the bar and he's like one of the regulars. He's one of the other main characters. His name's Norm, and every time he walks in, everybody in the bar goes, Norm! It's just hilarious. And that happens like every episode.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just there's a nice routine flow to it where it's like always the same. But it's just a little different. Like a famous sports player will come in and talk
Will
to
it
him.
actually be a famous sports player or just like a guy?
Probably from back in like the 70s it was.
Okay.
No one I recognize though. Because I'm sure it was because there's like has
So
like
is this
the
a
live
cartoon
crowd.
or?
No, these are
It's a
real
real-
people.
okay, I
These are
thought
real
so.
people. And yeah, people like cheer. Like the live audience would go ham and like cheer. So I'm sure it was famous back in the day. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different storylines with it. And then the bartender, or like the owner, and that girl, they kind of go on and off with like relationships and stuff. Like they date each other, then don't date each other. But it's just so crazy how so much plot is developed from only like three scenes. So I don't know. That's a little off topic from where we were, I guess, if we want to swing back to.
Yeah, I mean, we basically covered it all. I mean, that just revival of TikTok was.
Yeah. All night revival, baby.
Yeah, it was. That was crazy.
I listened to a little newsreel and they said Trump's wanting to give it like a 90-day.
Yeah, they tried that, but
extension.
then that got turned down by the Supreme Court. Like overruled it, and they said no. I haven't looked up how much, why it's back, and how we got it back.
Yeah.
But the extension of it got turned down, so that's why it actually happened.
So you think this is an extension? It's back currently on an extension, or you
I
think back
so.
permanently?
I don't think it's permanent right now.
I feel like how
think
could
it's
they
just
not get rid of it if like literally the Supreme Court?
Yeah, I don't know.
upheld it.
I haven't looked into it, but I think it's more of like a short-term band-aid
Yeah.
type thing.
And then the impression I was under that they're getting rid of it. Isaiah said that is not the case last night.
Yeah, I don't know how
But
much. I thought it was.
I thought it was.
I thought it was a national security thing. That's
Yeah.
what they've all said.
But Isaiah was claiming that it was just like a censorship
thing,
concept.
a whole bunch of little
But
stuff.
there's
and
no
I'm
way
like,
they could do it just if they wanted to get rid of it just off the premise that they did not want people viewing what was on it. I just can't make, unless that's somehow like, third world, foreign entities are like implementing subliminal things into it. Like but I don't see anything. Do you see anything that's like anti-American on
the
it?
content I watch on there. Actually, you know what? It might be anti-American because it's probably just making people dumber. All right.
Probably.
If this is propaganda that I'm watching, then
Influencing
so be
people
it,
to
dude.
drink and drive and gamble their life savings away.
Yeah, if sending me Family Guy clips and like different people doing random things and just a whole bunch of memes, if that's propaganda or brainwashing me, then whatever.
Do you buy into a lot of that stuff that like Reels is like a true waste of time and you would genuinely be happier without it? Or do you not think that's the case?
No, I think you need to moderate it, but I think it's just like entertainment. It's just like watching movies, like people need entertainment and just downtime and time to just kind of turn off their brain. You can't be doing something productive like 24/7 and like actually be like happy. I think definitely people are on it too much, and there's obviously different types of content that are better than others, but
Yeah, different ways to shape your For You page. Would you say you're on it too much? Like, do you think you're over the benefit of
probably,
downtime?
if I was being optimal, I would be on it less. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of things that I just do that's
Not suboptimal.
yeah.
And you accept that?
Yeah. Like I drink on the weekends. And I mean, there's really
No benefit to that.
not anything major, I mean,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you could argue that like I've had a lot of stronger connections because I go out and drink with these people and spend time with them. But it's
Yeah.
like,
I think having like a good relationships with people is super important. Because if you don't really have a friend structure, life is just kind of lonely.
yeah,
But yeah, I think there's give and takes. I'm personally against Reels. I feel like, and I've kind of routed myself to the point now, if I'm even on them, like I get mad. So it's not even something that relaxes. It's not even downtime because I get frustrated with myself, even on them.
I don't get frustrated, but I definitely feel like I get lazy. Like there's times where like I don't want to be on Reels, like I want to do something, but at the same time I don't have like the energy to get up. I'm like, I don't really want to get up and do anything either. I'm just kind of like stuck in a rut,
Then also like
Kind of
I
like,
think back,
it's kind of like a hangover, honestly. If you're on it for a long time, or like you wake up next morning like, I don't feel good, and
Yeah.
like I need to like kind of get up and do something to feel better, but I don't want to do that. So you're just kind of in that weird zone.
Yeah.
It's not as bad.
Well,
I would say
then I
Reels
think
is better
about
than
this,
that,
which
but-
some people might think this is like a it is gonna be like it's stupid. Like just prepare.
I'll
But-
try. I'll try.
But
to
like,
prepare.
what did everyone even do before Reels?
That's a great point. I think YouTube was big. I think people were less.
I think I watched a lot more just genuinely good YouTube, and I think in the past 6 months I've gotten back to that as well.
I still
like-
watch a decent bit of YouTube. But I was just, our attention spans were longer, and we would just go
Exactly.
YouTube videos instead of short clips. That's at least what I did. I mean, as long as I can remember, as soon as my brain kind of developed to like an actual like slightly adult, I was on YouTube. Because obviously when you're a kid, you just play with whatever, and you
But what
don't
did
do
people like
stuff.
our age do? Like go back 10 years ago.
Yeah,
They watch a lot of YouTube. You think? Probably a decent amount of YouTube.
I don't even know. I might have to ask them, man. I asked them because I got some people that I know and good friends that are, I would say, like 8 years older than us. I
Yeah.
would say something like that, 6 to 8 years, where they were in that zone. I think they probably some watched YouTube a decent bit.
Like you think
But-
reading was more prevalent? I think video games were more common. It
I
was
think
more common to
video
do like
games.
just a quick 30 minutes of video
Yes,
games.
I think that's true. I think video games, people played more video games on different stuff. Our age, I think, yeah.
the other I guess form of entertainment that I have never really tapped into and honestly cannot comprehend someone tapping into, but there's a huge audience out there, so it's kind of mind-boggling for me. Is
Podcast listeners, they're idiots, bro.
people that watch streams.
Yeah, I've never. I
just
have
don't-
watched a couple from like YouTubers that I've like, and like he'll be on and he'll be like streaming, and it's a game, and I'll watch. I've watched a couple, but yeah, that is huge. I've never got into that because that's so like those people really have a lot of free time. Because of YouTube and TikTok, you can watch whenever. You have 5
Yeah.
minutes in between. You can hop on there. Like those, they have like planned, and it's usually like the middle of the day because that's their full time job. So they're like stream from like 9 to 3.
Yeah.
And like people have all day, and they'll sit on and watch. I'm like, I've never gotten that either.
Yeah.
That
The only
is
time
huge.
I really watched a stream would have been like Prime Fortnite when it just released. It was like big to like watch Ninja.
Yeah, I didn't even watch that. I
This
watched
was,
like
like, the
YouTube
first year.
clips and TikTok
But
clips.
the only time I ever did it was just like to be like rebellious in school. Like it would be like study hall, and I would freaking be watching Ninja stream
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be doing anything beneficial.
There was one stream that I did watch the tail end, and it was absolutely amazing. This was when Kai Cenat and Speed, which are like the two biggest streamers right now, they did a Minecraft speed run. Did I tell you about this? And did we watch the clips together? I showed someone the YouTube clips, but they did a Minecraft speed run where they were not allowed to leave this house or stop streaming until they beat Minecraft. And they played hardcore too, so if they died, they had to restart.
Damn.
And they were in this house for like 5 days straight. And like they didn't shower, they slept very little, they streamed all day, every day. Like they would go to bed at like 3 or 4 in the morning, get up at like 9 and start streaming again in this house that wasn't their house. Like they didn't shower, they ate like crap, they slept like crap, and like the streams were on 24/7. And like it was getting to, and they had like an hour counter up there, and they were on there for hours. Like it was like 200 hours. No, it wasn't 200, but it was like 140 hours, I
God.
think. And they were like playing, like this, how long they've been playing Minecraft, and they would be so close, like fighting the Ender Dragon, and then they would die. And then like
On
they would,
hardcore's tough.
like
man.
you just gotta. I will show you a video, like best moments, and like sometimes Minecraft when you're watching people, it's funny. Like people die or they do certain things or they mess up, and like it's just hilarious. And they would always lie to each other, like, "Oh my!" They would fall to their death and be like, "A creeper got me. A creeper got me." Like they were trying to hide them so they didn't make themselves look like idiots. And it was just so funny. Like not only that stream was funny, entertaining. It was Minecraft. It was awesome. These guys were entertaining. There were so many funny moments. And when they finally did it, they
So I
finally
kinda
won.
feel like-
They went crazy, and even just seeing the evolution of their scene, because their whole room was decorated Minecraft. Like they had blocks.
I think I've
and-
seen clips of that room getting like tore apart.
Yes, they would go in there and like tackle it. And we got to end here. And during the break, I'll show you like how it started and how it ended and the fun. It was hilarious. But yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna show them that. You guys should watch it too after this podcast, and we'll catch you in a little bit.
Welcome back to the Speak Sporadically podcast.
This is the second part.
So pretty much, guys, we had to do some more research, so we got on Reels and just scrolled for the past half an hour.
For educational purposes.
Devin upkept his casino.
Yeah. Yeah, I showed him I think we ended talking about the speed and Kaisenet Minecraft.
Yeah, and he showed me that.
Showed him some clips and stuff. And
I showed him the iCarly clip where actually it goes through the theme song, and every time there's a beat drop, there's like a clip in the video, and it shows a new Kaisenet clip of him literally destroying his streaming room.
Random stuff with random people. And
I definitely encourage you to watch that. Like, look up like Kaisenet, just iCarly.
Yeah,
you can find it.
Pull up.
So yeah, absolutely fire. Yeah, but no, I don't think Reels are good for you. I think most people would be more productive. But the thing is, like, I've also developed a pretty bad lens of like, productivity. If you're not being productive, you're not
being productive.
Doing good. Yeah, you're not doing good. Like, then you had a bad day. But we'll see. I probably have another tough year, honestly, ahead of me of like grinding it out. Because I have another semester of school I need to finish, and then I'm starting a new job. And I feel like the first 6 months of a new job are always pretty rough. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of want to start looking for a house, so I feel like it's just going to be rough next year. Got to stay focused and got to stay locked in, and hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
It'll be someday, dude, we're going to, watch these old videos and say, like, holy crap, bro. We didn't know nothing back then. Hopefully. I don't know. Sometimes I consider getting a flip phone.
You started talking about that, I think, last night. Or maybe earlier today.
Just having a flip phone. Just, like being, like, super open. Like, yeah, call me if you need me. And maybe just, like, allotting time that I'll have my smartphone. Still have a smartphone. But, like, if it's, like, business hours when I know I need to get something done, I got my flip phone, need me, give me a call. If I have an emergency, I can call someone. But other than that, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Just work.
I think it's just tough because I think life is so dynamic. Where I think even if you were, like, completely just work, focusing on being productive and efficient, I think you would lose a lot of other things. Like, I feel like, because I sometimes think about this, like, sometimes I think I'm too analytical and logical. Like, I make decisions too much based on just, like, numbers and facts.
Yeah, yep.
Like, if you give me a decision, like the simplest decision, like the other day.
I mean, shit,
my mom tasked me to buy lettuce, and it probably took me 15 minutes to decide the lettuce because I was analyzing every bit about it from price, size, weight, the different types, what it came with, the different brands, whether I knew it. And I don't know. Like everything, sometimes I think about stuff too analytically, and like everything has a process and step, and I feel like you lose a lot of the human touch, or that personality, or the what's the word,
like for the human touch.
Yeah, just kind of like that. There's a word I'm trying to think of.
The natural flow of life.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know what word you're getting at here.
I don't know, just like your comfortability with humans, like interactions you have, just
like sociability.
Yeah, basically sociability.
Gotcha.
Like I feel like you lose.
Well, there are studies that. So if you are trying to buy lettuce and you go somewhere that has 15 different things of lettuce, the average person will make a purchase less often, or so the one will make a purchase less often if there had only been 3 different types of lettuce or 2 options. And second, for the people that do make a purchase, their purchase, how satisfied they are with their purchase is lower. They're often feel dissatisfied with the purchase they made because they think possibly they lost out on some opportunity cost. And whether they are being analytical with it, they're just subconsciously doing that. So I think maybe that's a kind of common in humans, but if you're taking 15 minutes, you probably are going overboard.
Yeah.
But I think we both had even discussions about we can turn everything into an analytical decision.
Yeah, I do.
Like, should I start dating this person?
Exactly.
I mean, you can even break it down, and like you lose the emotion of it. Like, oh, should I date this person? Well, yeah, I really like them, but am I in the good point in life?
Things don't work. Like this would be kind of an inconvenience, and this just doesn't make much sense. And like, is it worth at that point? And you just, it shouldn't be that deep.
And you want to know a great movie, which is very heavily focused on this exact thing that we're discussing. Good Will Hunting.
Is it? That's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking about.
Have you ever had it or seen it before?
No, I've just seen clips. I've never sat down.
So he's a super genius that is just so intelligent that he is like disconnected with society. And man, I mean, it's an old. You really kind of care if I'll spoil like a subplot.
I've seen quite a bit of it.
So, yeah, like the main thing is like he finally like falls in love with this girl. And he's never had a relationship like that before, and he also has like there's a figure in the movie that's like a therapist who talks him through it, kind of gives him some really good advice. He falls in love with this girl, and she like fully like wants to buy into him 100%. Like she's fully in the relationship. And just because of pretty much what it seems is like analysis paralysis, like he's so stuck, like there's just like so many things that could go wrong. We might not be a perfect match for each other, that he ends up like saying no and like rejecting her and just like runs away from her and like screams at her, yells at her. And like it was a pretty intense scene because she was like if you really want to, like he breaks up with her. And she's like, if you really want to be done, you need to say to my face, like, you do not love me and you do not care for me at all. And he says it right to her face and then just walks away. And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But, throughout the movie, he develops more. And he ends up, I think, kind of abandoning his life. And then, like, going after her. Because she flies away to go to another school. Like, moves across the country. And then the final scene is he's just driving across the country to go meet up with her. But like he was content with just doing what he's always been doing. Like he just loved the routine of life because he couldn't fail in what he was doing. So it was a cool movie. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
probably should watch it again sometime. Honestly, I do love watching movies.
I don't watch that many movies, but
I watch a lot at work in my lunch.
Oh yeah.
So I'll download like 2. I try to keep like 2 downloaded at a time, and I'll just work through them. So.
Yeah.
Super mad because I'm halfway through The Pursuit of Happiness right now with Will Smith.
You've never seen it?
Yeah, I'm watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I had to download it on Amazon Prime. I was watching it. And I don't know if Amazon Prime announces these things, but they took it off. And then
they always do that,
it was like gone from my downloads. I was like, oh, it got undownloaded. Which is, so I have to download them is because where I eat my lunch, I eat it downstairs at work. There's no internet. So I have to download stuff. So then I get up, I walk all the way upstairs to get internet. I refresh to try to, because I was on, it can download pretty quick. We got good at internet at work. Just need to have access to it. So I was going to download it, go back downstairs, and then it wasn't even on. I was like, oh. So then I had to start something new. So then I went over to Disney Plus. I had the Guardians of the Galaxy down. I had that trilogy downloaded. So I've been going through that trilogy. So good.
Yeah, those are good movies too.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yeah, but that does piss me off when like Amazon and places do that. They take stuff off. Like Suits we were talking about earlier. I watched it all on Amazon Prime, all 9 seasons, all for free. I mean, you have to have a Prime subscription, but then like I wanted to go back and rewatch it, and nope, not on Prime at all. But then it moved to Netflix. But Netflix, you could only watch like the first couple seasons for free, and then you had to buy. And it was like all over the place, and like places that had, places that didn't. Some had parts. Then you had to pay for the rest, or it was weird. So I was like, fortunately, I watched it all when I watched it all. But now I don't even know like where the cheapest, best places to watch it.
Yeah.
But
I wonder, if there will be a point in time when all that stuff kind of gets merged into just one huge conglomerate. Because I feel like we're getting that point with Amazon where it's like if someone says like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy that online," you think Amazon, or do you think like they go online and they look at different stores of seeing where to buy it best, or do you just think Amazon? If I said, "Yeah, I bought this online,"
guess it depends what it is. I would say I mean,
you can buy cars on Amazon now.
Yeah.
You can buy houses.
You can buy houses?
Yeah.
I didn't think you could buy
You can
houses.
buy these little pre-built houses, and pretty much all you have to, like, folds, and you can get people to contract out to build them for you, and then all you have to do is plumbing and electrical.
But, yeah, I feel like there will always be, like, sites that have like a specialized, like a TCG player. They sell like trading card game cards.
100%,
I think those
100%.
will always be a thing. Or like Walmart and Kroger will always have their groceries where you can buy grocery
100%.
stuff. And whatever the item may be, there's like a website,
and then each company still kind of keeps their company's website.
Mm-hmm. But I think Amazon is like, if you would tell me you bought it just from an online marketplace that sells a whole bunch of things, I'd only think Amazon, like, ever.
Yeah, and the only thing kind of Amazon, the only other category Amazon is missing is just seller to buyer selling. It's like eBay, like people listing things to be sold. You don't have that on Amazon.
Customer to customer, I think.
Yeah, customer to customer. Yeah. Not the opposite of business to business.
Right.
Not business to customer. Customer to customer.
Customer to customer.
Yeah, you don't really have that. So
yeah, you don't.
Kind of the one thing I would think is like possibly will that be the case with streaming at some point where it'll all kind of get more connected?
I hope so. They just all kind of merge. It is annoying with like.
I watched someone do a breakdown of how much it would cost if you wanted to legitimately be able to watch every single NFL game this season.
Yeah, dude.
It was insane, and they only did like the 7 or 8 month span of the season. They didn't even do full annual subscriptions.
Yeah,
and it was in the thousands.
Right. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Dude. It is.
You know?
And even like there's so like I feel like if I ever want to watch a show, I'm not gonna watch it. I have like 3 different subscriptions, but I have like a 3 out of 12 chance that I'll get it.
Yeah.
And everything else is like nope.
It's so bad. Like
doesn't have.
It's so bad that Google. Like when you Google search what is such and such streaming on, it will bring up like the top. It'll like have like 15, and it'll say like yes, no,
price, or
yeah,
like
price,
rent for,
and you can rent or buy them.
Those.
So the one thing it will be like
annoying.
it's like always like 3 of them or 2 of them have it for free, and then you have a select thing that you can rent or buy it from.
Yeah,
and then you have like the rest.
Yeah,
so crazy.
I'm hoping they start buying each other and they consolidate, and it just has a couple main
But then
ones.
I mean, he kind of is destroying capitalism a little bit. But
yeah, I mean,
it's a positive monopoly,
Right.
possibly. You know, the fear of a monopoly is they can increase the prices
once there's no competition, right?
Once there's no competition, but it just doesn't seem like something at that scale could possibly be possible. But I don't know, it's definitely possible. But yeah, I mean, there's also a lot of sites that illegally stream things.
Mm-hmm.
There's sites that have like every movie and like every show ever made that you can watch them on.
But they're always real like finicky and glitchy and addy, and they just don't seem safe.
Yeah, definitely not safe. If you're running like a good VPN, you could probably do that. But I don't have a VPN. I'm not even really familiar with how it should work. That's like kind of the next thing I actually want to learn. Yeah, I'm trying to want to pick out some things that I want to learn and get better at. So 2 of them are just like internet security, like being more secure on the internet, maybe through like a VPN, and then I want to learn how to sell covered calls. So it's like my goals for the first half of the year. I didn't go as hard as I usually do with New Year's resolutions this year as I've done in the past.
Yeah, I haven't either. I didn't really even do them in the past. Because I don't know, I think the idea of New Year's resolution is just kind of like, it's bad. Like, if you have something in your life you should change, you shouldn't have the New Year, you should just do it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be like, okay, now it's the New Year, I'm going to do this. Like, okay, if it was a problem before, like, you should have a new day resolution every day if you could, or if you really need one, Again, I would like to think that I'm doing pretty well everything I want to do and willing to do, that I've changed, but I mean, I've told you my New Year's resolution, didn't I?
You have, I can't remember what it was. I know what yours. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I might have to tail that. I know your New Year's resolution, I think last year, was you wanted to get your teeth whiter. Do you remember that? Do you remember your, strong intent at the first part of the year to whiten your teeth?
I think so.
Because I think it, and also, I think it might have been just all hygiene, because you also got a nice brush to put shaving cream on, so you kind of went on a hygiene kick.
Yeah, that would have been around that time, yeah.
Or male beauty, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I remember talking about that. I don't know if it was my New Year's resolution. It could be. I don't know. But I do remember talking about that. And I've stuck with that pretty well. I've done that. I'm not as good as brushing my teeth as I was. But I still do at least once a day. Sometimes twice a day.
I always do twice a day.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
I don't always, but...
I don't know. I don't remember a single day that I've missed brushing my teeth. Not doing it twice.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Dead consistent, man. But I also have modified a little bit how I brush my teeth. I brush them a lot softer now.
I go at it.
I've had a lot of, unfortunately, just like gum recession. And I think it's because they say like if you just brush your teeth so hard, it just rubs on your gums. So now I go like just very gently.
No, I go at it and I get deep and I do tongue and I do inside. I just.
Yeah, that's why I did like my whole life.
Yeah.
Then I just think I just have bad gum genetics. Like the ones like really.
I mean, I don't even know
like
if that's.
You can see like a solid inch of one of my canines. It's bad. Sucks. I was like freaking out like one day when I noticed it, and I got a dentist appointment. I went in, and he says, "Oh no, it's completely normal," but there's like no way you can regrow them, so I'm just cooked. Unless I do like some surgical operation where they reposition skin, but
not worth it.
I'm not gonna do that. And it doesn't like it did bother me at first. It was like really sensitive, but now it doesn't bother me. And I think it's more of just how it looks. I just don't like how it looks.
I've never noticed it.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone notices it ever.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really be worried about that.
Yeah, my teeth are kind of small, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just being nitpicky. I think a lot of people are nitpicky with how they look, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Which I think is not a bad thing. I think I try to be.
Yeah, it's good to look good, and I think most things that do look good to people are relatively healthy for you to do. Like just being like slimmer, good hygiene, all those things are relatively healthy for like just life. Like if I'm gonna look at it from a pure life longevity standpoint.
I think this might be controversial, but I think like all these long skincare routines are not healthy.
I don't think so either.
The people who put like 5 different layers of different chemicals twice a day and it takes them all this time, I'm like,
yeah.
I think like one cleanser is good, one lotion is like good, but I think you're just throwing off the chemical balance and your normal processes of your skin, and you're filling it with these chemicals, and one chemical causes another problem, so you do another chemical, so it's a cycle.
And I don't know if, kind of like guys are like genetically different, but I always see memes all the time. It's like my acne after doing all this, and then like my boyfriend's acne after just rubbing water on his face, and it's true. And like I legit am not queued up on if there's a biological difference between men and women from the viewpoint of acne.
Yeah, I
don't know if one generates more than the other.
I have no clue.
But I had really bad acne when
Did you?
when I like 6th, 7th grade. It was really bad. I had a lot of acne on my face.
I've been pretty fortunate. I haven't had it bad. I've probably had it like longer than most. Like I still get like zits and blackheads and whatnot, but I've never had a point where someone would look and like, oh, he's got acne.
I have like any acne on my face?
No,
right
you
now?
look good right now. Yeah. I don't see like anything.
I get acne on my shoulders.
Yeah, a lot of guys do at least. They get.
But yeah, I don't do anything crazy. I mean, after every time I shave, I put on a very small amount of like facial moisturizer. It's just because my skin. I always shave after I shower, so my face is clean, and then my skin just feels really dry. Then I just like super small amount put on my neck. And I should put on my neck more because I have like red rashing on my neck.
Yeah, I think I kind of get that too. I think that's just from shaving.
So, and normally when I put it on, the moisturizer on, it kind of goes away, clears up. That's all I really do.
Yeah, I don't
even like. I'll sometimes put body wash on my hands and scrub my face in the shower, but most times it's just water.
I do the same thing.
Shampoo that leaks out of my hair and just gets on my face, and I rub it.
I have a face wash that I got because it was actually a heck of a steal. Well, they tried to like scam you into it. So there was a company that was called Geology. Well, it still is. And they're like really big on like just skincare. And I think they even have like shampoos and stuff. But I was watching a video and he had a promo code and he's like, get the first thing of Geology for $5. But you had to like sign up for the subscription. And it was really weird how they had it. They had like you could sign up for how often you get a shipment of products, like every other month or something, and it was like really expensive. It's like $190 like every other month or something, but they would send you a full skincare routine or whatever. But I got it and I went on. I just wanted to see if it was a scam. Well, the promo was you get it for free, but I'm like, all right, I knew there's going to be some things. So then it was like $5 of shipping, so I had to sign up for it, and I was like, in a month it's going to get recharged, which is another interesting story I'll get into. But
if I can interject something really quick, this is just a quick tidbit. Something I've really seen cool about doing some research about the Robinhood Gold card is it generates digital cards for you that are only one time.
Yep.
So if you have a reoccurring trial and you want to sign up for a free subscription, you have it generate a digital card, you get the subscription, and it's impossible for that card to ever be charged again. It like disappears.
The U.S. Bank did that not too long ago. It's called, I think they have it like Paze. P-A-Z-E is what it's called. But they had the same thing where you could generate a one-time.
The credit card does that?
Yeah, it was like a one-time fraud. I don't know exactly how it works or how you request it or whatever, but I remember getting an email about it, how you could make a one-time digital card.
Robinhood, if you're listening, can you approve me? Like, not approve me for the card, but at least send me it. I've been on the wait list forever.
Yeah, me too. I haven't been on it for long, but
I've been on the wait list for like a year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a while. I bet.
I've seen a ton of people get it though. I've seen videos on YouTube that are like 9 months old of people reviewing the card.
People have had it for a while, but I don't know how selective they are, how much money they have with them and stuff. But
yeah, I think that's the big thing is maybe how much money you have there could play a big part. And apparently it's getting rolled out to certain regions at a time.
I'm hoping it's just like they were real conservative with rolling it out, and then as time goes on, they'll roll it out to more, and then more and more and more. So every month,
exponential maybe.
Yes, they're increasing how much. But back to what I was saying from geology. Yeah. So I had to pay like $5 shipping and sign up, and it was going to charge me. But I'm like, oh, I'll just cancel it. I'll remember. So then it came in, and again, it's pretty high quality stuff. I got for $5. I'm like, it's a good deal. I'll use this stuff for when I can. And then time went on, and I tried to cancel it, and I'm almost positive I did. I canceled my fee, but I think they're real finicky. They wouldn't let me because I already bought the one thing, and basically, like, I was like kind of scammed them. But I got $100 worth of stuff for $5, and I just had to pay shipping, and so I swore I canceled it, whatever. But so there's one day I was laying in bed, and I hear a ding on my phone, and I get notifications if anything charges to any of my credit cards or whatever. And I'm just going back to bed because I'm still laying there, and then I look up, and then I look at the notification, and it's from my credit card, and it's like, and for some reason I have bought a lot of things on all my credit cards, and I have other reoccurring purchases and whatnot, but for some reason, like it still weirds me out to this day. It flagged it as like caution.
Fraud?
It was like a fraudulent or a weird, like what do you call it? It wasn't a fraud, but potential fraud. I think it was potential fraud, and they flagged it, and they didn't let the purchase go through. And it was, I think, again, the description was like $180, $190, which I've bought a lot bigger things on that card before, but for some reason it flagged it, and it was like, yeah, we didn't let this go through. And I'm like, please call to resolve this. So I'm like, called it. Okay, I'm like, okay, how am I going to get around this? Because it wasn't fraud, but I don't want this to be charged.
Yeah.
So how do I bring this up when I'm talking to the person and be like, well, I don't cancel my card. Okay, don't send me a new one and cancel this one and close this. But I don't want this to be charged. So I basically said that to her. I was like, I know this purchase, but I don't want it to be purchased. Like, and I was like trying to be real personal with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I tried to cancel this.
Yeah, I would definitely bring up. You tried to cancel.
Yeah, I tried to cancel this, and it, like, I know what it's from, so I don't want my card canceled. And she kind of sounded like she wasn't really caring that much. She's like, okay, no problem. Because, again, I don't think it charged or whatever. So, yeah, she's like, yep, we'll get it canceled and blah, blah, blah. So they got taken off my card, and then I went on to geology. I'm like, screw you guys, cancel. And then I actually was able to cancel it.
I needed them to flag some of my bar tabs as fraud, bro.
For real, dude. Not letting it go through.
Discover just calls me like, yo, we saw you spend like $700 on Patron shots last night. Like, there's no way you did that, right? I'm like, no, that was not me. But don't cancel my card. Don't cancel my card.
Just don't let that purchase go through. Just okay.
No, don't do that. That's definitely yeah, probably fraud. Yeah, probably fraud. Like if you actually did do it and everything, probably fraud.
Yeah.
I was watching a YouTube. His name's Caleb Hammer. He does financial audits.
Yeah, we talk about Caleb Hammer all the time.
Yeah, so he's doing one, and the chick starts explaining to him how and this was like a recent one, how she hasn't filed taxes since 2020.
That's where, by the way, that's where my geology ad came from. It was from him.
Really?
He's like, go to geology, get it for free.
He recommended it?
Yeah, he got a paid sponsorship, so I went through his link.
He does a ton of Rocket Money.
Yeah.
Ones now.
He's like famous. I see him on like TV. He's on like football ads, like in between commercial TVs. That's him. So he's huge.
I could do that. Like I would enjoy doing
I would too.
that.
And like
honestly, I need to look into doing that.
Yeah.
Because what if we did it with like a panel? Like it was like us three and we had a guest on. mean, I don't know how you find guests in that, but he's kind of has no chill.
He goes off people.
He's been getting less chill as he goes on too.
Yeah.
But anyways,
anytime.
one chick discloses to them that she hasn't filed taxes since 2019. I'm like, you're admitting to a felony right now, and she might like legit want to do it, and then it's already been done, so it's not like you can really hide it. But yeah, and I wonder how the IRS would reply to that. And then I was reading through the comments, and you can never really trust comments that much. But one comment said that they saw a statistic that 2 out of every 10 people, which already raises a red flag, because that would be 1 out of every 5 people. So I don't know why you'd say that. But they say don't pay, or like are behind on like filing taxes for the IRS.
Could be.
I mean, yeah. They don't know how much you owe until you tell them. Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But they still know if you're off.
Yeah, I don't know how all the IRS works really, but
yeah.
Whatever.
Huh. That would be fun though. How difficult would that be? Get people on, you think, that are in bad financial situations? I think it'd be really difficult because of our age. But Caleb can't be that old. How old is he?
He's like 30. He's like right at 30.
30.
So he's a little older. But yeah, and it'd be hard to do it without like straight up copying him.
True.
You know?
True. There's only like one really successful thing.
Yeah.
That does it.
I mean, we could do it, but like it would never be as big as his, and people would say like, "Oh, you guys are just copying Caleb." We're like, "Yeah, we are." You know? But yeah, that would be fun. I would be down to do that. But it would be a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you also kind of have the other variation of it, which is the Dave Ramsey show, where people can just call in. And then, it's a live radio talk show.
I'm into a lot of, at work, I watch a lot of finance pods and stuff. Like I was going to bring up, have you seen Iced Coffee Hour with Graham Stephan? I'm sure you've seen.
I know Graham Stephan. I don't know Iced Coffee Hour.
It's his podcast. He does it with another friend, and they just talk about finances, and they get usually finance people on, and they just talk about, it's really good stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of them are great.
I think Graham Stephan is like definitely one of my favorite finance people.
I think me too.
Because he's really like has a lot of foundational values, but there's a great place for Dave Ramsey. It can help a ton of people, and I think a majority of people can follow his steps and do extremely well, especially if they're not very into finance. But Graham Stephan's like that next level up if you are genuinely interested in finance. And you like it's not, you don't even look at it as putting in the time. It's like a pastime for you just to learn about it. He's like the guy to go to.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before, because like we don't necessarily agree with Dave Ramsey on everything, but the thing is what he believes and what he preaches is like,
it's not wrong.
It's not wrong, and it's safe. It works for everyone. There are some strategies that like we kind of do and we believe in that would crush a lot of people and be terrible for them. Like Dave Ramsey, if you do what Dave says, then you will absolutely be doing good and fine. Technically, you could be doing a little bit better, but again, he really takes into account the psychology of people, and that like, yeah, technically, mathematically, this could work, but psychology says that.
And I've heard him answer questions like that, because someone was really direct and says like, what is your rationale that if I'm completely responsible with my credit cards.
Credit cards is the biggest
that
one
I
was
can't
talking
just
about.
get the free percents. And he explained it that there's studies been shown that you, on average, spend 2 to 5% more with a credit card than you do with your debit card, because you don't see it like directly come out of your bank right away. And yeah, maybe definitely,
I think it's true.
If you know that study was conducted legitimately, I could say it's true.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people that would wipe it out. And then he just brought up the next statistic where it said 48% of people do pay their credit cards on time, which means 52% do not.
Yeah, like he brings up a lot of numbers. Like when you look at it, you would think like, okay, someone who uses credit cards responsibly is better for you, beneficial. But then he brings up like, let's just call it spade to spade. Let's look how it is. Capital One has stadiums named after them.
Yeah.
And their largest business is credit cards. They're filthy rich.
Yeah.
How did they get this? It's not because you're scamming these and you're making all this cash back.
Yeah.
No, they're winning.
Yeah, and then there's a whole...
He also, a big famous one he says is he goes like, America's in $1.2 trillion of credit card debt. You know how much debit card debt they are in? 0. There's no debit card debt in the planet.
Yeah.
but there's a bunch of credit card, and it's like, yeah, there's some these guys are incredibly successful, these massive credit card banks, and I mean, think I'm getting more benefit from them.
If you really want to go into it deep too, it's kind of a burden on society because all right, we just timed out, so we were rocking and rolling there. But yeah, it's a great point. There's a reason, and there's a reason banks make a lot of darn money too. And like Dave Ramsey has explained that he does not have a credit score.
Yeah, which that was another great point he brought up, is like everyone talks about credit scores is important, and it is. It really affects your ability to and your rates, because like most people are not going to be able to buy a house in cash. They're going to have to get a mortgage, and he's okay with that. And different in 1% really changes a mortgage. But he's explained the story, and it's really funny. He goes, down the street, there's a condominium complex, and I wanted to see if I could rent a unit. And they said, I'm sorry, we can't let you, you're not applicable, your credit score is not good enough, you don't have one. And he goes, so I can't rent a unit in that complex, but right now I could write a check and buy the whole damn place.
Yeah.
And he's like, doesn't that seem weird? And everyone's like laughing. They're like, yeah, because it doesn't really take care of it doesn't count for how much money you have. It just, how good of a lender are you, not actually how financially responsible or well off you are.
And there was a term he referred to it as, it's something underwriting. Pretty much like manual underwriting. He said there's a way, like if you truly just go into the bank, and it's a little bit more difficult, but if you were to need a mortgage, if you do show, proof of like a strong proof of income, you might have to provide a little bit more than what's necessary, and you have good standing with the bank, and you just talk to them a lot, and you kind of show them how much money you even have to put down. He said it's not impossible to get a mortgage without even having a credit score if you do like manual underwriting. So, yeah,
it's just crazy because he's right on a lot of things.
Yeah, but kind of how I'm leveraging credit cards right now is like I just am using the points as like mile markers to be able to go on trips. So I'm like kind of saving points to get to a point where I can go on a trip. So in a way, it's a way for me to justify spending money because I really don't like spending money. And then I also, so I like the cash back, and I also like the security of it. Because if your debit card gets hacked, it's like directly connected to your bank. Well,
that's another thing he brought up. Apparently,
it's like that, like a false reality.
Yeah. The motto of Visa or whatever of their protection is it talks about they have the exact same protections for credit and debit cards. I'm gonna see if I can look it up, and I don't know the video I was watching, but Visa protection motto.
But I've heard people like their card's getting charged with the bank, and then the bank just like refunds it and takes the hit too.
Yeah.
I think it's also different if you're going through like a local bank versus if you go through a like a national bank. You think there would be a difference there? But that's just always kind of the trend, or the thing I've heard is, you're not as secure with your debit card because it's directly linked to your bank.
Yeah, that's what I hear too. But he showed that it was like that wasn't exactly the case. I don't know where that statement is or how he got that, but it basically said somewhere in Visa they talked about how, like in their safety motto and protection motto, it said debit and credit cards. But again, he might have been also slightly wrong there, because I do think there's more protections with a credit card.
Yeah, just like that fraud alert thing you got.
And there's also a lot of other little benefits with
all the advisors I work for. They only use debit cards.
Yeah, I mean they're smart finance people. They got
advisors. Yeah. So, and there's definitely a point to it, but I think it's working for me. I mean, I've made over, with intro bonuses and everything, it was over like $900.
Yeah, intro bonuses are huge. I mean, they're way bigger than years of cash back you'll get. One intro bonus, I mean, that's legit $200.
Yeah, especially with like Chase. If you're trying to go simple and just do the Chase trifecta, you can re-get intro bonuses like every 2 years.
Yeah.
So, and if you graph that out from a return standpoint, it's going to be absolutely killing. Anything your bank it does. I mean, the biggest thing your bank could do is like a sign-on bonus when you actually create the account, but that's going to be it.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of little other benefits credit cards have. Like, I can see my credit score at any time, every day, for free. I can check it, and it shows me when my inquiries were and when they're falling off in new accounts.
Yeah.
Also, there's referral bonuses. So if someone else gets a credit card, I could earn another $100 or $50 or whatever it is.
Then you have no transaction fees, which maybe definitely if you go through like a small town bank might be kind of a struggle with. So you kind of get access to that broad range that you might not have with your debit card. And then once you get into like the high end cards, like one card that I really want to get is the Capital One Venture X. That gives you like you get Hertz premium status for free, which is a car rental company. You get a certain amount of Uber credits every year. They pay for your TSA pre-check as well as your TSA global re-entry. So if you do like a lot of traveling, no transaction fees. Another huge one. This is one that I do not think debit cards have authorized users, or you can't get second copies of the card. I know with credit cards, like with your one credit card number under your account, for some credit card companies you have to pay more, but for Capital One you can have up to 4 additional authorized users that will generate their own physical card. So say like you can have one for your wife and possibly your 3 kids, and they all go in the same account, still generate the points. And they get all of that benefits. I don't know if that's a thing with debit cards.
I don't know either. I think actually so, yeah, because I think people can share a checking account. I think you can request more debit cards maybe.
Even
But
with like up
maybe.
to 5?
Yeah, probably not up to 5. That I don't know.
And then like Capital One has like Capital One lounges at airports that you can go into.
So yeah, the biggest thing with those is what you got to think about and what argues is if you're ever, you have to make sure that, how do I want to say this? I'm going to try to explain this. If those things ever, if you utilize those benefits because you have the credit card, you're losing. If you normally wouldn't do it. It's like, for example, that Hertz rental, like you may add value to that, but if you would never rent a car, that should have no value.
Yeah. You would have to kind of be in a position where you backtrack, you look back at the last year of your life, and then calculate if you had the car, how much value you would generate, and then and then you would also have a pretty reasonable projection that the next year of your life is going to be similar to the last year of your life.
So,
but
even for that,
it's kind of contradicting to what I said earlier, where I'm kind of like saving my points for a trip. But that's because I don't go on trips, so I'm kind of like
it's different. Are you going on the trip because you have these points, or would you go on the trip regardless, and these points are just beneficial to do that?
Yeah. I think I'm like pretty blended into both categories.
Okay.
Where I would like to do a trip,
so you're still
but
probably
the points help it
value-wise coming out positive.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's like for the Hertz rental, like even if you look the past year and like, oh yeah, I did rent for them twice. Well, like if you didn't have that benefit, would you still have done that? Because a lot of times that's a big thing with cash back. Why you kind of said earlier that people are more likely to spend on a credit card. 1, because swiping a card is easier than giving cash. But 2, they think they're getting 2% back. So they think like, oh, I'm getting 2% cash back. It's like, no, you're not getting 2% back. You're just losing 98%.
Yeah.
Instead of 100,
Yeah.
which is still bad. But if you're going to buy it anyway and you have to, then it is still better to lose 98%.
And I think like 90% of the time I think I'm the same. I'm just buying something that I would buy anyways if I only have my debit card.
I agree. I would like to think the same thing too. A lot of stuff.
But I don't know.
I had to do.
Maybe not. I mean, I do buy a lot of dumb stuff.
I don't buy that much dumb stuff. I mean, I do every once in a while, but I feel like again, it's something that I've been wanting to buy and I need.
I will say I bought concert tickets for my girlfriend, like that we're gonna go to a concert. And I got 5% cash back on them, and that was like a huge, like psychologically, that could be one that like. Now you could also have this argument that it's definitely one that I probably wouldn't have bought if I didn't get the cash back, or it wouldn't have felt as good to buy. But what is that even a benefit? Like, is it a benefit to like, not go to a concert?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what you got.
Am I too frugal? Like, is it influencing me in a good direct? Like, it's just pulling me off the super frugal thing just enough to where it's like still not negative, but almost like positively impacting me. I don't know. That's a one thing to look at. But overall, and I really like the credit score aspect of getting a good credit score.
I think that's good.
So, and it's just another thing to nerd out on.
It's so crazy because like my parents, and I know we've talked about this because both our parents are kind of similar, is that they're just not huge into it. Like obviously they're not against it and they're still smart with their money and stuff, but like I enjoy doing it. Like I find a passion for it. Like so many people ask me like, because all the time I kind of like not gloat, but like I make sure to tell people like, yeah, I got 5 credit cards right now. Like, you got 5? I'm like, yeah, I got plans to get 3 more. Yeah. And they're like, that's crazy. I just got my 1 and now I'm good. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But I enjoy it.
So I always tell people it's like, yeah, like by the time I'm done with all this, I want my credit limit to be like 250,000. Mm-hmm. I want to have a $250,000 credit limit. And they're like, wow, you don't even need that. Like, or even I'll tell people now that I have like a 20-something thousand credit limit, and they're like, that's like way more than you'll ever spend. I'm like, yeah. But I'm not going to ever spend it because I'm disciplined enough. And if I am in a pinch, I could. Yeah. If I want to run away or do something, probably I have that ability. You know, it's just opening my doors of freedom. So. Yeah. Well, definitely. Yeah, dude, we could probably do a whole nother podcast on finance, bro. We didn't even really touch. Initially, before the episode, we kind of wanted to lean more into like investing and retirement accounts.
Because we've been on that hot trend recently. We've been on that stuff and looking at stuff. But we're already over by quite a bit. So I guess we'll save it. That's something we could always kind of bring up.
For sure.
And keep in the pocket. But
so we can wrap this one up. Wrap it up, eh?
Because we're already a decent bit over. So
holy crap, you guys got a long one today.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for listening, though. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. So make sure you like and subscribe and do all that stuff so we get out there. We do have an Instagram and TikTok at Speaking Sporadically. We still have a TikTok.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trump.
No,
it's
not gone.
That's just at Speaking Sporadically. We haven't been too active on there, but it doesn't hurt to follow. It doesn't cost anything. So, and hopefully, obviously, we're going to try to post more and stuff. But you never know.
We're going to make a Patreon.
Yep.
I'm going to look into that.
Are you really?
Dude, if you get like 3 people to subscribe, it's free money.
But that's, I guess.
We just reinvest it in. We have to find a way to actually like give them value to reinvest it.
We have to figure out, we have to do some work.
Motivates us too there.
So, well, thank you guys so much for listening, and catch you next time.
See ya.